Hi everyone, this is Arcadius and welcome back to Naval Creed. Today we'll be going over the American battleship South Dakota. This is one of the newest American battleships added to the game. It's been a while since she's been actually released, however, it has taken me some time to get around to do these videos. So it is October 10th. There is only 10 days left to play the game, which is very unfortunate. I still have not really had any interest in playing this, unfortunately, but I am planning on maybe doing some last minute long videos of just me recording me playing. I don't know how much commentary I'll be able to do, but I have been thinking about it, and it may come to fruition here in the future. However, we have South Dakota, Connecticut, and for me, Kentucky to go over. So there's Connecticut, which is just pretty much a South Dakota, North Carolina, Montana mix. And then Kentucky, which is honestly one of the strongest ships in the game, believe it or not. She may not look like it, but she's definitely a workhorse. There hasn't really been any updates at all in the game, obviously, because it's closing. However, I don't remember if I went over the camo for the Richelieu with the Iowa turrets. This is what it looks like. I didn't get around to renaming it, mainly because it doesn't really matter anymore. The camo is pretty nice, though. It kind of looks like a Bismarck camo or like a German-esque version. So it's a French battleship with American turrets and a German camo. It's a weird amalgamation, but it does look pretty nice. All right, South Dakota. What do we got? So, if you're not familiar, South Dakota and North Carolina are very similar battleships, historically and in game. The main difference you can see immediately is the missing twin 5-inch 37 cal gun. Midships, the dual purpose mount there. Let's see what we got. So fully upgraded, we have 68,100 health, 30% torpedo damage resistance, which is actually pretty decent. Up to about 18 inches of armor. The belt is only supposedly 12 inches, which actually does kind of make sense. And then it looks like the strongest is on the barbettes and turret faces. Also, if you haven't noticed, I'm still working off a cough, so I'm sorry if I keep pausing and playing. That's the reason why. So yeah, armor is all right. This ship is actually not easy to citadel. I know when we look at a similar ship such as, where is it? Massachusetts, which is actually supposed to be another member of the South Dakota class. She sits very high in the water, and you can actually citadel her through the stern with a moderate degree of accuracy. And that is one of the weaknesses, and even without that, there's so much freeboard here that it's almost guaranteed to hit her on the side. However, with South Dakota, you can see she sits just enough lower in the water that it kind of negates all of those weaknesses that Massachusetts has. So it is definitely an improved ship in that case. Let's see what else we have. 3 triple 16-inch guns, two triples in the front, 1 triple in the back. Pretty standard American battleship layout. 2 rounds a minute. You can see all the stats here. Yeah, nothing really different about that. She doesn't get access to the 2 different types of shells. I'm pretty sure Massachusetts gets that. Yeah, so she can equip 2 different types of shells. South Dakota, being a tech tree ship, does not get that ability, but that's fine. Main gun range, 23.6 kilometers. Secondary range of 6 kilometers, though you only have 4 twin mounts on either side, and they're pretty worthless overall. Speed of 27 knots, and we even get a nice little fighter as well. Anti-aircraft defense is actually pretty respectable at mid-range and close range. Outer defense is not terrible. Let's see, 87. What's North Carolina's? Because North Carolina does have more twin 5-inch mounts. Yeah, so it actually has better long-range AA, but less short range. So I guess if you want a good average anti-aircraft defense, you're going to want North Carolina. But if you want a more centralized, close-in air support or air defense, you're going to want South Dakota. But either ship is actually really, really good, regardless of that. We have a repair, we have a heal, and we have a speed boost, believe it or not. That is something that the 3 battleships I mentioned at the earlier part of the video, the South Dakota, Connecticut, and Kentucky there, they all have a speed boost, which is a very interesting feature to find on an American battleship, and I think I'm correct when I say these 3 battleships are the only ones that have speed boost applied. No, Illinois has a speed boost as well. I was incorrect. All right, so let's toss her in the game and show you what she can do. All right, let's see what kind of game we have today. North Carolina, Bismarck, Lenin, South Dakota, Hipper, Tone, Oyoto, Tone, Sverdlov, Benson, and a Lightning. So a lot of pretty easy cruisers. Lenin's probably going to be the easiest battleship to deal with if we get a nice broadside. And the destroyers are not too difficult, I would say. Alright, so I do have health buffs and speed buffs applied, so this is not the normal ship. That doesn't really matter anymore. Alright, so we're going to start by heading off towards the northeast over here. Let's activate that speed boost so we can get up to speed as quickly as possible. There's no carrier, so I won't be able to show off the anti-aircraft defense on the ship as well as I could if there had been a carrier. But if we get close enough, we'll still be able to shoot down a few planes. We also have 4 heals now that I mentioned that, or notice, which is quite a lot actually for a battleship. Normally you only get 3, so having a 4th one is definitely advantageous. Alright, let's see. I do have speed buffs applied, as well as the speed boost active, but I'm up to 35.3 knots, which is actually pretty substantial for a battleship of this size. So there's the South Dakota on the enemy team. She's in no good position for us to shoot. Same with Lenin. But this is where the cruisers start popping up. I think we're going to try for this Sverdlov here. Let's see if that's going to work. The shell velocity is actually pretty decent, as you can see, and the grouping is extremely tight. However, there are still 4 ricochets. That was pretty unfortunate. However, if she's going to give broadside again, then we'll have no choice but to take her out. There we go. A little bit better. And we just kind of got to wait for targets to get in range. That South Dakota is starting to give me a... Actually, that's an Oyoto. I'll send 1 out towards there. 2 towards the Oyoto. There goes Sverdlov. I doubt I'll sink the Oyoto, but any damage is worth it. Yeah, see, pretty much nothing. Ooh, the Lenin is going to give us a nice broadside, actually. Let's focus on her. And Tone is over here as well. Alright, so our destroyer is about to go down over here. But as mentioned, that Lenin is pretty easy to deal with, actually. Secondaries are going to work over the Tone a little bit, but I don't really care about that. Secondaries on the other side just sank the destroyer. There goes the Lenin. Should actually probably turn... Actually, our secondaries are working over the Tone relatively easily, aren't they? I don't know if it's just because of the close range and they're hitting the superstructure, but they're actually putting up a decent fight. However, that ends now. Oh, you actually survived that? Where did the other 4 of my shells go? Whatever. There we go. Secondary kill. Cool. Kind of reminds me a bit like Norfolk or Illinois, but not nearly as good. All right, you got North Carolina over here. Didn't expect any citadels, so that's fine. But we did manage to damage one of the guns there, so the repair was used, and there's a fire. I've set 2 fires with these secondaries, and they're actually doing a pretty good amount of damage, actually. I'm surprised. I did not expect that. I also have only played the ship like maybe 3 times. So... Alright, so the North Carolina should be going down here. Yeah, no thanks. I don't understand. There we go. So we got another Tone and a Hippers coming in. Secondary, another fire. That's awesome. Is that 4 fires now? Jeez. I can't really shoot the Tone with my main gun, so the secondaries are just going to work over for right now. But that seems to be doing plenty of damage by its own, or by itself. I think Hipper is aground. Yeah, so she's aground as well. Which means Bismarck is the only one we can actually really shoot right now. But even then, that's not really a good shot. Is Hipper getting out? Yep, Hipper's starting to get out here. We actually got 6 pens on that Bismarck. That's nice. Secondaries. Kill the Tone again. There goes the Hipper. Alright, speed boost. Let's see if we can get a little bit more damage in on this Bismarck. However, I highly doubt it actually. Maneuverability on the ship is also pretty decent as well. As you can see, the turning circle was quite nice. Let's see, let's just send a few shells that way. If those hit, that'll sink her. Or they won't, and she'll be left on less than 2,000 health. Regardless, there we go. Victory. Those secondaries were actually quite surprising. Those can be pretty useful, actually, if you spec for secondaries. Regardless, 291,000 damage, 7 ships sunk, 82 shell hits, 4 aircraft shot down, 7 citadels, 5 fires, 10 defended caps, 134 secondary hits. Let's see, how much damage do we do? 232,000 damage in 8 armor-piercing shells, 13,000 from fires, and 46,000 from secondaries. That's quite respectable for an American battleship. Regardless, there isn't really any downside to the ship at all. She's just exceedingly average. Because you got like North Carolina, and that's pretty similar as well. Richelieu, Veneto, Bismarck, all ships at this tier have their ups and downs. This one is probably in terms of anti-aircraft defense. Same with Massachusetts and Richelieu. But she's definitely not a bad ship at all. She can be pretty fun, as you can saw in that video. But again, there's nothing really all that special about her. With that, I'll wrap up today's video. If you liked the video, make sure you like and subscribe. And join me next time while we go over the next battleship in line, Connecticut. So again, thank you and take care.